Hey guys, Butler Bulldog Bill here. Actually, today it's Pittsburgh Penguin Bill because on Wednesday the NHL playoffs begin, and I am super excited. Pittsburgh Penguins make the playoffs. They are the 4 seed. We will be taking on the 5 seeded Philadelphia Flyers in a huge rivalry game, a rivalry series. If if you recall the beginning of the season, there were a lot of questions whether the Pittsburgh Penguins were going to be able to make it into the playoffs. Nobody knew when Sidney Crosby was going to come back. He ended up coming back, got hurt again, was out for a while. Now he's back again. And with him out, a lot of people didn't know if they were going to be able to do it. Um, they did it. They had Evgeny Malkin, who was able to lead the team. You know, he led the league in scoring, or in points, I mean. So, Malkin proved that he is good enough to be the star of any team, and that the Penguins were just as dangerous without Crosby as they were with him. Now, they do add another dimension by having him in the lineup, but, you know, Malkin proved that he is at that level that Sidney Crosby is. So that was very, very refreshing. It was very exciting to see. Um, One of the other things that you had Jordan Stahl, who was able to score a bunch of goals. Chris Kunitz, a lot of guys stepped up with Sidney Crosby was out, and we were able to win about I can't remember. At one point, we won 11 games in a row, and we had another streak at another time going into the All-Star break. But now it's going to be super exciting to see us take on the Philadelphia Flyers, and everybody knows how the Philadelphia Flyers fans are. Everybody knows how Philadelphia fans are in general. Usually, they're called the city of brotherly love, and yet they're one of the nastiest bunches of sports fans that there is. I wish that they were a little better than that because they're making a hypocrisy of the nickname of their city. But whatever the case, they hate Pittsburgh, which is fine. Go ahead and hate all you want. Right now, it's mostly jealousy because they know they're not as good as the Penguins. And I think this series that's coming up is going to be a very good one. And I think the Penguins are going to show them that, hey, we're still better than you. And even if you have Jaromir Jagr, you guys are a little bit inferior to us, not in just the state, but in, the NHL as a whole. And I believe the Penguins are a Stanley Cup team this year. Sidney Crosby is probably one good hit away from having to retire. He's had 2 concussions already. One more big hit on him, and his career is probably over. He's just really fragile at the moment. And he knows that he's going to need one more Stanley Cup to prove that he is in the upper echelon of players that have played this game. And Gretzky's had his multiple Stanley Cups. Mario Lemieux's had his multiple Stanley Cups, and there's you can go on and on about all these great players that have had multiple Stanley Cups. But Crosby knows he needs to get one more to be up there with those guys, and I think he's going to play harder in this playoffs than he's ever played before because he knows this could be the final year that he gets to play. This may be his final chance. Like I said, one more good hit on him, and he's probably done. So I think that the Penguins are going to bring it like they've never brought it before, specifically Sidney Crosby, and I think they're going to be a very dangerous team. Um, Flyers are always a tough draw, but I think they'll be able to get through them. I'm thinking a 6-game series. It wouldn't surprise me if it does go to 7 because I'll give Philadelphia credit. They're a pretty great team, and they've got some great players. Even I hate to admit it, but Yager is still a great player. But I just think this is the Penguins' year. They know they've got to get it done. Sidney knows he's got to get it done, and we'll see what happens. But I think the Penguins are the team to beat. Anyway, there's some other great NHL first round playoff matchups going on. Uh, but I think this is the one to look out for, especially with the brawl that these guys had. Not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before or the Sunday before in their game in Pittsburgh. The Flyers won that one. I believe it was 6-3. But there was big time brawl during the game. With about a minute and a few seconds to go. All the players in the ice got into a brawl after a hit. In the middle of the ice, a clean hit, but Philadelphia got a little upset over it. So the big brawl breaks out. The coaches for both teams were getting into it. Fans were throwing stuff at the Flyers because they were mouthing off to the fans. It was a big melee. And, when the referees thought they had everything broken up, another fight breaks out between some of the players. Asham started drilling one of their guys. So, I think that is going to be on the minds of both teams. This is going to be a very physical series. Like I said, it's a rivalry, so obviously it's going to be very physical. And add in the other dimension that it's the playoffs, it's definitely going to make it even more physical than it was in that game. There could be a lot of fights. You're going to be seeing some exciting hockey between both of these teams, and it's just going to be a great series overall. But anyway, like I said, NHL playoffs start tomorrow night, Wednesday night. There's 2 series that'll begin that night, and then Thursday night more series will begin, and then Friday night as well. So anyway, please watch the NHL playoffs. It's a great sport. It's a great league. I think it doesn't get the credit it deserves here in the United States, but it's a lot of fun to watch, and I'm a huge fan. Have been all my life. Pittsburgh Penguins back in the days of Mario Lemieux, and Jaromir Jagr was on the team. But anyway, you guys have a great day and enjoy the playoffs.